I forgot. Oh, how should I, like, when my guides are communicating, like, where should I look for the signs, like, or is it just as simple as, like, look for what makes me happy and follow?
So how does Source talk to you?
Yes, that's a better way of putting it.
Fast, concise,
like
direct,
like strikes me.
Direct. Like what we were talking about before, it's not maybe it's this way, maybe it's that way, I don't know. It's this way. Go. Now.
That's how I experience
Talk to that person. Turn left here. It's not do. It's very direct and very
that's so true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's mental, if you want it, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
It's through the connection, and it'll be translated into words, and it's every day, in all little ways, in big ways.
Okay.
So, like, they're saying if you start, like, when you channel it, I'm like, if you start channeling, it's like, oh yeah, duh, you channel. Your music, your rap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, who am I talking to? Like how it comes to you, like, right away and fast and inspiration. It's like, let's get on the it's like riding a
inspirational
comet.
wave. Okay.
A fiery comet. That's fiery.
Okay.
But you're like the fiery comet. The fiery comet's coming through to
take me
do the thing that you, yeah. And it will seem sometimes selfish. And you actually expand when you're selfish.
Because I'm so usually not selfish, is that why?
It's because you have...
Because of my mission.
Your commitment. You're committed. You've ascended your will. Like, you're in service. So the more you're selfish to the service, which is you, like, you're fused with the service already. So don't doubt that. Like, you already dedicated yourself in your life, right?
I'm gonna cry.
Right? So, and it's not just this life. I mean, that's who you are. It's like, you're like asking a nun, like, do you want to go to church? Or like, have you ever been to church?
It's like, I do this. This is me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry to say the word God around you. And you're a nun. You know, it's like, what? It's like, I don't know, that's a stupid analogy. But
no, it actually makes sense.
It's like, so then, it's not really your will.
It's source.
Yeah, it's the expansion of consciousness. So, it's like,
fuck.
Yeah, so you're holding yourself back. You're holding creation back and evolution back when you're like, myself. I'm being selfish. Or I want this. Or I need to say this. Or I...
Wait, I'm confused. 12. I'm confused. You're saying I'm being selfish when I'm...
Yeah, but that's good.
Holding myself back? Or
No.
when I'm not holding myself back?
When you're holding yourself back...
From being what I am.
Yes, it's not allowing the expansion...
to happen.
Yes. Oh, which is obvious, but you're thinking you're intruding another space, but it's like a wave.
But I'm supposed to.
It's like a wave of light rolling over people, like, of love. Why wouldn't you want that? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just love.
Yeah.
Going to them. You know, there's no malintent. There's no...
True.
Hurtful desire. There's no personal desire. There's no manipulation.
It's just what I am.
And that's love, yeah.
True.
You know, there's nothing...
It's deep.
Yeah, so if you're called to, like, interject in someone's vibe out of love...
Then do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in timing. You don't want to be, like, in a big meeting and be like, I love you! You know, try to keep your job.
So true.
You know, but it's who you are. Like, I know you enough to know that's what you do. You're just like a ball of love flying around. You know?
That's deep.
Right?
It's super deep.
Yeah, I mean, you're so joyful. And, like, even if you're not feeling good, you're still, like, love and a good, you know, being in person. And
Aww.
yeah. And it's trying, all this is trying your Pluto in your 12th house with Chiron right there. So you've been persecuted before. So that's what you're healing, and that's what's coming out of the shadows, is to just know that, understand that, and then this time in this space where you're not probably going to get hung.
Wait, what, can you say it a different way?
You're probably not going to get your head on a spike this life for the things that you're saying or doing. You know what I mean? It's safer. It's safer.
It's
safe physically, and that's what you talked about before, is the danger. Because you have been offed in previous lives for...
being what I am.
In speaking your truth, yes. Oh, come on. Like, they burned witches. They killed, you know, Native American, indigenous people all over the world. Like, there's so many instances with Jewish people, with, you know, what's going on now. It's like there's so much.
So I still may have to deal with danger, but not the same volume that I was before, maybe? Or...
It's not so outright physical.
It's more spiritual.
Violence. It's well, that's the difference. We're in, like, the psychic war. We're in the war over souls. We're in a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. So they're soul-sucking people, and they're walking around. Like, you can be an empty shell walking around. Your body's safe, but is it? Like, it's injected with all these chemicals and all this nasty stuff, and the frequencies and the radio waves and all this craziness, right? And so, yeah, but it's not outright in your face like that. You know, we've evolved from that as humanity, hopefully. It's still going on in, like, the Middle East, but that's like the end of it. And it's a lot of times it's circulated there in that portion of the globe, because that's almost like the belly button. That's like a very strong epicenter. It's like the main lesson that this incarnation of humanity is learning. And we're so right there learning it. That's why, like, you can give so much love into the world, and it is helping everybody and everything. Just us being us, or doing what you feel called to do. Because the more love you can bring in, the better it is for everybody.
So, okay. So this is some deep stuff.
Mm.
I'm just surprised that you picked up on, like, the burden that I carry, because it does have to do with my mission, but it's something, it's hard to explain. It's like, it's not, it's so hard to explain. It's like the burden is present, but I don't feel weighed down by it. I feel honored by it.
Yes.
But also there's, of course, we're in human bodies, so there's an element of fear of, you know, understanding what it is that I've been asked to do. So
fear in understanding it.
Yeah, fear of understanding what that mission comes with. And it's just one of those things where, you know, it's your ego. Your ego doesn't want to go through certain things that you may have to go through. And that's what you said. I transcended my will. I've transcended my ego. So
yeah. Well, you still use the ego. I mean, it's more like your personal.
I use my ego as like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I use it very rarely. Like, I use aspects of it for certain, like, obviously, like, to work at a job and be around, like, normal people, you have to, like, what I call, like, pretend to be normal. Like, so it's, like, there are certain times where, yes, I'm not, like, if it was really up to me 100%, and, like, I could do whatever I wanted, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, like, dressing like this and, you know, walking around barefoot, but, like, obviously you can't in society. Like, you can't just do whatever you want, but, like...
That's neat, because that is a very useful way to use the ego. That's really cool.
I just
it's like
use
a persona.
Yeah, exactly. I use it as, like, a blend in with everyone else, because everyone else has an ego. So when I come in and I have no ego, it's almost like... Well, number one, it confuses people, because if everyone has something and then you meet someone who doesn't seem to have it, it's like, what's wrong with it? Like, it makes people really uncomfortable. And then it's also like, not having the ego present or not utilizing it, you then become very, like, you become almost, like, I become almost like a mirror to people. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm coming in and I'm a mirror, and a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but, like, sometimes people don't like what they see in the mirror, but it's not me judging them, it's not me thinking, it's like they're seeing, for whatever reason, I don't know if that's because I'm water and water reflects or art, but like you said, my essence is love. So it's like, because the thing about love and, like, unconditional love is that it encompasses all that we are. Like, it appreciates and loves and sees every aspect of someone that is maybe, you know, things that we dislike about ourselves. Love encompasses that and takes it on and accepts it. But love is also, love makes you aware of, you know, truth. And
those things.
I'm going too deep into it. But basically, like, the vibration of love evokes a reminder of everything in someone that is not love. So it's very triggering to people.
It is, isn't it?
And it's just something that I've realized, like, as I go through life, and, like, and it's interesting because people have very, like, strong reactions to me, to the point where it's like, they either love me or they, like, really don't, like, you know, there's no, like, how you're saying, the no in between. Like, that's how I feel like my life is. Like, there's people that are extremely drawn to me because they are, you know, they're resonating with that frequency. They like how I feel. But then there's people who, like, cannot get me far enough away from this person type shit, because they don't want to be, and I don't blame them. Like, obviously it's not comfortable to be around a vibration that's like, but it's like, but then the thing about it too is, like, on an even deeper level, it's like, because of what I am, like, there are certain spirits that'll be with certain people that don't want them around me, if that makes sense, because then they might get away from those spirits that are feeding off them. So then it's like a whole other level of, and I'm more speaking from a macro level, in terms of, like, obviously, like, I'm going to be in the public eye, and I'm going to be, like, doing certain things for, like, what we were just talking about, like, and
say it,
like, my mission essentially is, like, me being in the public eye is part of that, because, like you said, I need to bring love to as many people as possible.
Through what medium?
Multiple. Multiple. Like, what, literally, anything that they tell me to do, like, I'll do it. Like, if they're, like, podcast, like, what we're doing, the stuff that we're doing, like, let's get the message out. Like, music, let's get, like, it's like, I don't care. Like, if they're like, we want you to act in this movie and do this, and that's gonna gain me people who are gonna, like, start looking at my stuff, and then they find my message that way, that's fine. But it's nothing that I'm doing is
self-serving.
Exactly. And that's another thing too that I've noticed is, like, when I try to explain to people or tell them stuff about this, they kind of, it's almost like some people think like, oh, I'm just like, you're just doing this because you want to be like this rich and famous, like it's
liked and all that. Kind of
they
stuff.
think it's like an ego thing, and I'm like, I have never been. I don't want to say I've never been liked, but like I've never fit in, and like I've never like.
Yeah, you don't need it.
It doesn't.
So you're not going out there looking for it. You're not putting everything out there.
Exactly, and it's like. I know what I'm going to have to deal with as a result of the stuff that I'm going to be saying. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be, like you said, it's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah.
And why would I, if anything, I would be better off for myself not doing that. Yeah. So it's like.
Well, it's like the we were talking before, of like, sometimes it's lonely, or sometimes you're stirring the pot, or sometimes you get people agitated, or sometimes, you know, things, it's not the easiest road. And we were talking, it's messy, and, you know. But it's beautiful, and it's the work.
It's one of those things where it's just like, it's just interesting because I'm sure from the outside looking in, it will seem like I have like a huge ego and I'm very ego driven, but it's like I have no ego and I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it would be the person who's seen that. Because I've never once. I mean, that's not even.
No, I know, but that's because
I think
you're
some
on,
people
like,
could.
A very high.
But other
vibration.
people would see that, especially your generation, and that's why 90% of people do it. You know, for other reasons. You know, sometimes I'm like with these podcast people. It's like, God, like, who can talk like that, like, to themselves for hours, to talk to a little video camera. It's like a little. It has to be spurred. Like they're not the only ones there. They have to be like on a mission. They have to be being pushed, you know, unless they're sitting there talking to their ego, which is not, you know. So it has to be. Different people have different skills, right? So. If you have that mission and you have to channel it out in any way to get it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but don't worry about what people think.
I mean, I can't.
Like, it doesn't matter. And like, that's the whole thing. Is like those kind of people that are thinking that are the kind of people that can just. That's why they would do it. That's what they see. You know? But for me, like I was talking about, I can't do it by myself in the camera. Like, I can't do it that way. That's why when you told me, I'll help you do it and we can just talk, I was like, well, we just can talk. Let's just sit and talk.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way I can do it. But I'm of a whole nother generation. You know, that camera things aren't even part of
right.
And that's what I don't even know if that's the reason, but it's just me personally.
No, it makes sense, and it's funny because I was hanging out with someone and I was like doing my music and I was like recording everything, and they like asked me a question like, or like made a comment like, why do you need to record everything? Like, not everything needs to be recorded, and they meant it from like a good place, like telling me like be in the moment. But it's like what people don't understand is like if that's your mission. Look at this. Like,
I wouldn't have done any of this unless that was your mission. Like, I'm supposed to. I know I need to.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it without you.
That's deep. That's super deep.
Yeah, so it's not just your stuff, it's other people's stuff. And it's you being you, bringing your stuff near my stuff, and it's going together.
I love it.
Yeah, so it works perfectly with us. Because it's like, what we said the other day, we were like, well, the good connections are like, you have what I need. You need what I like giving, and I need what you like giving. You know what I mean? So it's like that
it's
tool.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you put these pieces together. And what we were talking about before, too, is because it needed more than one person's power or energy behind it.
Very deep, very true, very true. This is very deep.